is here, and this is my girl, Eki. Eki, how are you?
I'm very good, sir.
How good. You know, sometimes we're in the United Kingdom, we're here. A lot are happening around us, especially from the point of us, as the Black people. I think it's better to call us Africans, where we now prefer to be called Africans. All right, maybe small time, because Americans have changed it. Let's start from there.
Yeah.
Americans are now saying, they don't call me a black man. I'm an African American. So what should they be calling us in the UK? What do you think?
African British.
I think so. Yeah, because when you take the buses in the UK, they start with black Caribbean, black this, black that. But what's black? We're not really black.
Or black British.
Yeah, that's what they do, black British. So they're not saying, no, Americans know that. We're calling them black Americans, black this. They're not saying, no, stop it, man. It is time, because they have a reason for that. It was only in UK that you still call people black, officially. And maybe that's something they use. Today, we are in Black History Month, so maybe it's an opportunity to raise that kind of issue. Yeah. I know many people won't be discussing that. It's not a very convenient topic to discuss, but maybe it's time for us to be called Black British African British. You know, that may make more sense, you know, because I don't think they call, even if you want to call yourself a Nigerian British, I don't care. But what is black? What is black should be white. Anyway, today we're trying to introduce to you a very, very new show. The show where I'm going to be running with Eki and actually bringing some guests who can talk about our life politically, culturally, and economically in the UK. Let me repeat, politically, of course, socially, but politically, culturally, and economically. See, today, Eki, there's a lot going on in the political scene. And all we hear is immigrants. If you don't know they are talking about you, then you are deceiving yourself. You know, when they say immigrants, you know they are talking about you. What's your position on this? That's what we're going to try and analyze. And maybe add a little voice to what is going on in the UK, because we are there. You don't see us having a say. We never have a say. Our opinion doesn't matter. And it's something that maybe it's time we actually say we're here, we are alive, we're part of the society, we've been here. Some of our parents have been here, you know, and maybe, and my kids are here. Where's the position, you know? Anyway, those ones are not more immigrants. So it's those of us that came in, and perhaps those that are still coming in, that are immigrants. And that's perhaps this is time to send a very big warning to African government who pushed people on the street. And they got here now. All we hear every day is immigrant. But today on this show, I think we should take a look at the three key players today. Yeah. In the past, I never heard of this guy, this Reform Party. Where is he coming from?
Reform Farage.
Yeah, he is quite an interesting character, man. I mean, what does he say? Let me remove this guy. Farage.
Yeah, he contributed so much to the Brexit.
Okay. Yeah,
and which brought us to where we are today. You know, it has been a big mess. Yes.
You think it's a mess?
Well, it has been, because I mean, not a lot has changed, as it. You know, the promises, and I mean, that's what all the government do, isn't it? It's just to promise, and then it becomes worse the moment they are elected, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, these guys seem to be very brutal, especially from the point of view for us. What do you think if this man becomes the president? I mean, if the Reform Party takes over government in the UK?
I mean, you know, from his last speech or his last conference,
Prime Minister.
Yes, I mean, Farage had said about the ILR, which is the indefinite leave to remain. He said he's going to abolish it. And, you know, and that is like fighting against legal immigrants, you know.
Okay. What he's going to replace it with what? So people come to the UK, they work.
Well, it's not very like the thing is that it's not very clear even what it's going to. But he said he's going to replace it with working visa for 5 years, and I'm said even people that have indefinitely to remain have to work here for a certain amount of period.
Yeah, but you don't just get indefinite. You don't just get it.
Exactly. You can't
get it because you work for 5 years, and so there must be a replacement. Maybe we'll see that in detail.
It's not even easy to, because these are legal immigrants. A lot of people have it, like your mom, your dad, your cousins, your sisters, your family. You know, people. A lot of people have it indefinitely to remain. So it's not easy to just say I'm going to abolish it. Because now you're saying I'm going to send legal immigrants, but my say is like, you know, but you've been fighting against illegal immigrants. Why coming for legal immigrants? You know, legal immigrants, they are working. They are hardworking people. You know, they have the right documentation because they worked for it. You know, getting documents in this country, it's not easy. It's very, very costly.
Yes,
it is very, very costly. It goes beyond 10,000, 15,000 pounds.
We're coming to that.
You know, it's a lot of money.
Do you know how much they now pay? You know, if you even get a skill visa now to come and work in the UK, your insurance alone, and the insurance you pay and the fee the employee pay, everything, when you add it up, and these people actually pay their taxes. I don't know why they are still a problem to the society. I don't understand.
You know what? I think, like, you know, right now, most of these leaders are focusing more on immigrations rather than there are so many other things going on in this country. There's the housing, you know, education, technology. You know, there's so many other things that needs to be discussed. You know, a lot of people, they can't even afford to eat. There's like a lot of food stamps everywhere. You know, there's so much that needs to be discussed. I know there's like the problem of immigrations, but we also have to talk about there's a lot of, you know, British people that aren't working either, and all of these things is just, they just want to use all of these things to, like, you know, win votes, bring in.
I think it's all about winning the election.
It's all about winning the election.
Nobody's really going to. The Tories were saying, oh, they're going to send people to Rwanda. They never sent one to Rwanda. So I don't think that's the problem. But you know, but my interest is this. You know, we are living in a country where the immigration rules keep changing and actually bringing down the economy. United Kingdom. Let me explain one. Student visas in those days, when I was at the Middlesex University 2 days ago, and you see the number of students has dropped, especially master students. They've dropped significantly because you're not saying to them they cannot come with their family, they cannot come with anything. But now the universities are now broke. They are now merging. And now seeking grants from the government to survive. Universities are now merging.
I think that needs to be discussed. Because there's a lot.
But when there's a lot
of international students going to other countries, but not coming to the UK.
Now they're going elsewhere. And the question is, I know politicians want to make a mess of it. They're trying to win votes. But you're actually killing the economy of this country. You know, when the immigrants comes in, look, for a student that comes in to study, he's only allowed to work for 20 hours. His parents are paying money from abroad. Even if he can sacrifice for us for 3 years before he gets a permanent resident, he's not just going to get money. He's still going to go and continue working and contributing to the economy of the country. And you have training. He's well trained. It's not going to be anybody that got a degree and got a master's degree, for instance. It cannot be useless. It cannot be a useless society. Why is it a problem to this government? That's the thing I don't get. And so the issue of, because I saw now, you find out the universities are now merging. They were expanding, now they are merging. What a disaster. And for me, as a black man or as an African in the UK, it raises a lot of concern. That when they talk about this immigrant, my kids will be looking at me and say, "I hope," but they're not talking about you. I say, "Yeah, they're talking about me. They want to deport your daddy home," and they were laughing. You understand? They deport you to where? I said, "No, I'm just joking. I have my papers here." So we just laugh about it. But it's not that simple. A lot of people have been in this country. And UK has been a friend to most of our countries. Don't forget, they colonized us. So we have that tie with the United Kingdom. And it is a shame that we're here today and they're treating us as if we are from the ghost. No, we had a history of colonization. That was what brought us here. But let's look at the other political parties. Do we start with Kemi? Kemi is a Nigerian, right? She's now here. She has said a lot of things I don't think Nigerians are very happy with. But hey, I always say to them, she's a politician. She's trying to win the vote. Leave her alone. But what's your take about this lady? She's a black woman like you. What do you feel? She's an African woman like you. I like to use the word Kemi. Kemi, what's going on? What's really going on here?
Well, like, Kemi, she's, apart from other negative things, I know that not all Nigerians like her, and it's okay to have
It's
everyone
what
to
she
have
said
them.
anyway. I
Yeah,
can understand why Nigerians
not
say
everyone is going to agree to whatever you think, but of course, she too wants to contribute to the good of this country, because she grew up here as well. She still lived her life here,
she's
and
married here. Kids are here.
she's married, and she has a kid here. So she is educated, of course, and of course she's just like every other political leaders. Everyone is going to bring their own,
Swag.
yes, bring something that would then deceive or even like try to gain votes. It's like talk, but
So
no
we will-
action.
yes.
What makes you think that your political party didn't get it right last time, that it will get it right now?
And now,
Yeah.
yes,
So,
if you say, well, my concern
Yeah.
is, but why would Kemi be taking such a tough stand?
Mm,
Like she's an immigrant.
mm.
She's been here. How can she be talking like every other person just because she want to win votes?
But because that's what it is right now, is immigration.
Yeah.
Immigration is the topic right now. So if she's not tapping in it, if she's not talking about it, the British people are going to come for her. They are taking our jobs. They are doing this, but you're not saying anything. Our borders, people are flooding our borders.
Are we sure you will not?
Are we
You
sure?
will not put it over that more
For more people to come. So she too has to talk about it. But I think the way she's talking about it, or the way she's going about it, a lot of people don't like, especially from like people that are from Nigeria, because they think you should support our people.
We are one.
Yes.
We are my own. And
Yes.
now you're here. You're saying, who am I?
Yeah.
And no matter what it is, Kemi, you're still a Nigerian. That's how we see her.
Yes.
In fact, and
Yes.
the funniest thing, Peter Tosh was saying something that no matter if you really come from, as long as you have the skin, you're an African.
Yes.
You understand? So
Yes.
Kemi, you can't take that away. And even if you kick us, no matter how you try to peel the skin, they will still see you as an African. Yes. So I was thinking that it would have been better if you just say, listen, I'm an African and I can't change that. But this is my job as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. I will do my job faithfully to do my job as the Prime Minister, meaning I will make sure the borders are tight. I won't mind my language. I know it's going to be difficult for her to please both sides at this stage.
Yes.
And because there's something they were trying to drag her in today. That why is she not confronting Farah? Why she's not talking about the Reform Party? And she said, no, she's not here to discuss the guy. Yeah, because but she's able to discuss us with the immigrants, but she couldn't discuss that guy because it's easy to, the only way in a law court, the only way you discredit your opponent. There's reason I was waiting for her to actually discredit him. She's very quick to discredit the Labour Party, but she couldn't discredit this guy today. I don't know why. How do you? Listen, the only thing we can do is the difference between me and you. That's what I'm going to tell people. Listen, she's this, I am this. I shouldn't be reserving it at all. Yeah. Your opponent is your opponent. That's why the word is an opponent. I was confused why she said she's not there to discuss. Maybe she didn't want the guy to win the vote or to steal the discussion, because if she go along that line, she opened that door. I'm sure the journalists will want to hammer.
But the thing is that she's currently focused on Labour right now. She's focusing on because even Farage is focusing on the Labour government. Exactly. So both of them right now, he's not like the Prime Minister. So she wouldn't focus her attention on it. She's focusing her attention on the Prime Minister right now, because there are things that they are doing and that she needs to also discredit. That's the old thing.
Of course, I can understand her. Of course, if you don't deal with the Labour Party, these are people you want to get out of office. So they're number one. But according to the poll right now, they're saying that the Reform Party is actually leading. First time in history of the United Kingdom. I don't know how we got there.
They are leading, which is of course but I think that is before he mentioned about the indefinite leave to remain, because right now there's a lot of people that are indefinitely to me that can actually vote. So if you're going to send them home, do you think they're going to vote for you?
But do you really
of course not.
Do you really think there's going to be something that are going to send people home? Somebody who has been here that it's going to be able to send us home. How it's going to send us?
You know what? Yeah, like Brexit happened. Anything can happen. Because no one would have imagined that Brexit would have happened, but it happened. So, something like this is not something we can
just take for granted.
We can just take for granted. When he mentioned indefinite, I mean, it's going to be difficult because a lot of people.
Anyway, for those of you just watching us, we're not talking. This is the guy that said he's going to send indefinite home, not Kemi. Because Kemi, you seem to be on the road book of very many of us. So just for the case of the vote, it's not Kemi that said it's going to. So it is the Reform Party. Farage said, you that have indefinite will be sent home. But Kemi is actually saying she's going to take a tough stand on
But what like Farage was saying specifically was saying that those that have the ILR, which is the indefinite leave to remain, the legal ones, right, the ones that are not working are meant to be deported.
Okay.
But a lot of people, they worked to get the LIR.
Exactly.
They had to present a document. They have to show that they pay tax. They have to show that they contributed to this country. They have to pay money to get that indefinitely to remain. Most of them have houses. Most of the NHS work in the NHS. So you can't just say people. How do you know who is not working?
Exactly.
Because a lot of people, whether legal. Those on indefinitely to remain, and also British people are also on benefit. They benefit for it's not just tied to indefinitely to remain. Just the fact that when you have indefinitely to remain, you now have benefit to things that you did not have benefit to before. So if somebody lost their job, of course, that's where they go, because then they can be able to survive for a short period of time. But then if there are more jobs, there are more opportunities, technology, all of this stuff. If they focus on all of these things, a lot of people would not be on benefit. So focus on why are people on benefit? Why are people not working? Why don't they want to work? Is it that there's no job? Is it that there's no a lot of opportunity, apprenticeship? Young people, they are graduates. A lot of graduates that are not working, so much money that they've taken so much student loan, gone to uni, came out, and the job market is competitive. And sending 100 applications, thousands of applications, and then before you have one, it's not encouraging. People give up, and they just say, what, it's easier to just be, because make it make sense. When people are on benefit, like they'll help them with their events, they'll help them with everything. But when you're not on benefit, you pay for everything, and you don't even have anything for yourself left. You can't even go on holiday. You can't even, all of these things. So why would people want to? It's like you're just working so hard, you're not getting nothing back. You can't even get a mortgage. You can't even get a car. You can't even get basic stuff, and you have to even go and queue for food. Food are basic things that we should have.
This is a very, very sensitive topic.
It is.
And the political scenario right now, for us Africans, or for us Black people, for us the immigrants, let me put it that way, we are now the topic of discussion. But giving the politicians something to play with, like they did with Brexit and they succeeded, now they're using us as a scapegoat. Otherwise, I don't think Brexit was the true problem. Wasn't the economic problem which it was going through? But now they're out of it. Now they're going to get rid of the immigrant. But I think that of the immigrants is going to be tougher. They tried the last time to say they're going to send some people to Rwanda. It never happened. You understand? I don't know what Kemi want to do along that line. But what about our current prime minister? What do you think of him? What do you think of him? Do you know that Black people tend to follow Labour Party? Why?
It's I think because they think with Labour Party kind of side more with them, and kind of in terms of like benefit, in terms of like helping them more, like they're more like immigrant friendly and everything like that. So of course they would side with them, but since they've entered so much, even the businesses are closing down. It's a lot even more food queues every time, and there's no jobs. It's crazy. Like it's like the economic is just going.
So what do
Yeah.
you personally?
Yeah.
Are you Labour? Are you Conservative?
I'm not.
Which one are you? Come on, you gotta be one. Huh?
I'm not, because you know what? Yeah.
But you do both.
Well, like I do vote. When I do vote, but
Okay, don't tell us. You know, apparently in the United Kingdom, black people, or as they call us Africans, where we black people, as they call us, but we like to call ourselves Africans, we tend to vote Labour. 90% of us tend to vote Labour. That is why you see the mayor of the city is always going to be Labour. But Labour is for the foreigners, and but why? There are too many things, and maybe that disconnect we need to address it. Is it true that Labour is more friendly to us? Because in America too, you find that they were more Democrats. The Democratic Party that's what produced Obama. So we tend to follow the Democratic Party. But in terms of ideology, do you know the conservative actually preaches what we do? Especially we all go to church on Sundays in Nigeria, and so the conservative are more in terms of our moral beliefs, like conservative parties now they are trying to win votes. That's why they are not supporting the gay right or that. Otherwise, conservative are more strict on that. And in Nigeria, we still don't understand the gay right thing as at now. So when you come to the UK and we are now all Labour that will say, do anything you want, it's a kind of disconnect. Don't you think so?
Yeah, it is. For even now, there's a disconnect even now between immigrant and Labour, because we actually don't know what's going on anymore. Like
Without immigrants, you want to get Labour out of office, leave Labour alone, please. Don't touch Labour. They are still better than the ones we don't know. Farage is going to send us home. That is a big one. And then Kemi, your sister, look at what she's saying. I don't know. I'm not saying who should vote for, but personally, I've been pro-Labour for a long time now. I'm not ashamed of it. Anyway, maybe because when you come to a foreign country, it is what you have been thrown at. But when you look down closely, you find out that maybe we don't have good reason, or maybe we just do what the people say we should do. Labour, and you just follow Labour. But are they really the best party for us? Like, morally, they are not. I know that for sure. Then let's look at the economy of the country. You've been talking about the economy. The truth is sometimes Labour can be really lousy spenders. They just spend and spend and spend. You understand? And conservatives tend to be more better with the economy. Like I like what the conservative will say. You cannot have a champagne appetite on a Coca-Cola paycheck. Do you understand? Your paycheck is Coca-Cola you can afford. You are drinking. You want to drink champagne. It doesn't work. So you earn the money first. Your wife always say earn it first. You guys know how to push us at home. When we want to say, have you earned it? Women can make your life uncomfortable. So they say earn the money first. That is what the wife at home will always say. So, and I think Labour tend not to be very, very economical in terms of their spending, and perhaps why, if that is the case, okay, maybe they are immigrant friendly, you can stay, but morally they don't agree with you, because I know most black people go to church every Sunday, or they go to mosque, on Friday. So we hear that. So Labour tend not to go for that. So conservative is more with you on that. You are not with conservative. And another thing, economically, I don't think Labour, they are the best economic in terms of economic policy. Why are we still with them? That's the question. Why we remain in the marriage with Labour?
We have to.
So we just have to, because we don't know where to go. We stay there.
Because there are other two bonfires.
We are between the devil and the deep blue sea. What do you go? Devil or the deep blue sea? No, Labour is the safer devil. Listen, people, this is the show where we'll always be talking about this kind of issues. We'll take a look at the economy as it affects us, especially Africans. That's what we do. This is the African Renaissance Television. So we always look at the issue as it concerns us. And perhaps because there is no voice, let me repeat, no voice of Black people in the UK. We don't even have a voice. We can't come together and say anything. You know, if there's election is coming up, there's no say what the people going to say. We're not even as a group. We're not a group. We're not a community.
Yeah, that's very true. You can look at the Indians community.
Oh yeah.
Look at the Chinese Asians.
Yes.
You know, look at their community. They're together. But look at our community. I don't want to say we are divided, but that's what it is. You know,
it is
like,
what it is.
We don't. I mean, if we come together,
then they will listen to us. Because this is now everybody saying, hey, you're gonna kick you out. We're gonna kick you out. Who's gonna say something otherwise?
I mean, Africans have contributed so much to this country, but you know, the Black people have contributed so much in this, so you can't just say they should go. You know,
this month, this is Black History Month. You know what?
Yes.
Maybe it's time to change it to African History Month. A lot of things need to change. But who is talking on the background? Who is saying this? We don't have a community. And when you don't come together, there's no voice.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to say this, and I know a lot of people. Let's look at our economy, for instance. You know, we just quickly touch on that. And I know this show is going to touch more on this much more later, but let's just touch a little bit on this. When I look around the UK, I look at the shops, the simple shops on the street, either run by Asians. You hardly see a Black man own a shop on the street of England. And stop at the filling station to buy fuel is the Asians. Go to the post office is the Asians. What's wrong with us? Why?
That's a good question.
Have you seen? I've never seen how many Black people own an off license. You'll be counting them. How many of us own a post office? How many of us own a filling station? And now they're gonna kick us out. What's wrong with us?
It's a topic that we need to talk about.
Well,
it's a topic because I feel like we're focusing on other things.
But let's talk about the economy. We need to feed ourselves. Understand? Nobody stops us from open. You know, now on the streets of Golden Spring, there's an Indian bank, a big Indian bank there from India. They are not afraid. They're not afraid. We have Turkish bank on the streets of London. Where is our own bank? And a community that doesn't have a bank, who gives you loan? How can you even this property ladder they are talking about? How are you going to climb property ladder if you cannot access loan? Is the British loan company going to be so friendly to you? But if you had come together and you have a small bank, don't you think that bank will help us to access the property ladder? The Asians, they are buying and buying and buying. We are looking and looking and looking. Economically, we are not here. We might be here, economically, we are not in this country. So two things already. Politically, we're not here. Economically, we are not here. That's not good. You are the younger generation. I see my kids and I tell them, you guys it's up to you guys now. You know, we couldn't do it, but definitely we failed. The Asians and the Caribbean, they came at the same time. If you look around, the Asians have dominated the place. I'm sorry to say, we, the Jamaicans, the Caribbean, they've not really done well. We don't know why, but we've not done well. Can look for somebody to blame right now, but we've not done well. Somebody will have to pay for this. Somebody have to be held accountable. And do we look at the only area of our strength? So let's go to that quickly because we're not going to make today's show so long. But when we come back again on this show, it's going to be tough. It's going to be full detail. Today, we just want to talk about, but before we even leave the political scene, let's quickly go back to the Labour Party. All right? Do you personally, do you connect with this Prime Minister? Do you feel that personal that this is my Prime Minister? He's doing things the way I want to see it. Or he's just playing along?
No, I haven't even been.
Women are not so much into politics. I listen to Sky News from time to time and I just see him. And it's about making the big speeches and trying to be politically correct. You know, leadership is lacking. You understand? It's lacking. Sometimes a leader will take a firm stand, whether you like it or not, this is my position. You know, but they just begin to flirt around like this. Anyway, Labour, we understand the trouble you guys are going in now. The doors, they are knocking on the door. we'll not be able to talk about that. If they want to have us in this marriage labor, it's going to be something for us, and more than what we see now. Because sometimes our little vote could count. Again, we're saying this: if we don't come together, then we don't have a force. You can't say the black vote is going to go here, the black vote is going to go here. Until we can get that, we will remain irrelevant in this country. Vote is crucial. The number of black people in London alone, we should be up to 2 million. That be a significant force. Till tomorrow, it's only the Asians now that manage, the Indians that manage to be mayor. We are not even running for the office of the mayor. You hear me? We are not running. We have to run and lose first. We're not even doing that. Anyway, let's end the show with entertainment. All right, let's go into entertainment. In the entertainment world, I don't think anybody can defeat the black man. Are we there? Do we have a space here for entertainment? Are we doing well in the music scene? Are we doing well in the movie? Where are we? In sports? Where are we?
I mean, we're doing well. Yeah, we are definitely in terms of like entertainment, and look at like the BET and the movies and everything like that. It's
we're not in the movies. Okay, maybe we are in every other place. In the movie, I know we are not there.
Okay, so it is talking about like Africans. Of course, we will say we have our Afrobeats, we have our Nollywood.
Yes, but that is not in the British cycle. How many of the British musicians here, black British, that you can see on BBC, that you see on our proper television here? You don't see them. You understand? And what does it take to have us in there? Are we not a force? Are we not a market? You understand? I've been in this country for so long now. Been here for close to 30 years, so I know the narrative. We can change that a little bit. But the truth is, again, I want to say this: Britain is losing on that huge cultural economy, because black people have ties with Africa. A black child here or an African here have ties with people at home. I make Nollywood with Nollywood. I make films with Nollywood, meaning I have a market to attract as a British into my work. And if I am put to good use, I will drag in a lot of money to the UK. I am a musician. When I sing, black people around the world will identify with me. I use that, my contact, to drag in money to the UK. That economy is lacking. The British cultural economy is zero. The black British cultural economy. Again, maybe it's this kind of narrative we're hearing now. And we are this, we are that. We are here as suckers. We only take and go. Is that true? Well, it's a difficult one. we're here, and we pray that the narrative changes soon. For me, I don't even care what they say in the cultural scene. I don't care what they do in the political scene. Where I know we should do better is, can't we come together and create an economy for ourselves and our children? You understand? The Asians have done that. If you see a typical Asians, go to where they are, they keep buying their houses around it. And they keep them, they're growing. And they are not the issue of, when they talk about this immigrant, they're not talking about them. I can tell you they're not talking about them. Because they own things here. Well, and maybe they go to school as well. Education is their own. A typical Indian woman, you see, she studied this, she studied that, you understand? Maybe we should do that. We should do something. The community need to come together as a people. African community in the UK need to come together and start to do something. Because we cannot be here and we're not here. Like I said, let me remind you guys. Maybe you guys there, people watching us today, can quote me wrong. I'm counting how many shops are owned by black people on the streets of London. If you go in there, who do you see? Asians. 90% of the shops on the streets are owned by Asians. Count the number of filling stations you see. Tell me how many is owned by a black man. Not 3. Post offices Count them. If you go to GP, how many black people had a GP here? These are not rocket science. So it's not something that say if you're a black doctor, you cannot own a general practice. How many? My place where I live in Northwood now, they're all Asians. The narrative needs to change, people. And this is a big challenge for us as a generation. We need to do this for you guys. You understand? And it's something that, you know why this whole thing is so sad? Now they're discussing politics, they're discussing us. We don't even come together and say, we are not talking about ourselves. So they know we are in a place where we talk. We don't have it. We don't have it. And some of them are too, even the black people are too British. Let me say this. Let me say this before we leave. Am I allowed to do so? Maybe yes. A typical Asian child will wear her hijab to whatever school. They couldn't stop them. Have you seen black people bringing their African culture, being proud of who they are? It's only you go on the street. You go on the street, you see people still dressed with their hijab. Our daughters are the ones that we must dress naked like them. I don't know. I'm quiet. I should be quiet. But these are things that are we here or we are not here? That's a question I asked today, and I think that's something I will be discussing on this show, and I'll be bringing a lot of people who are here to come and see what they think about this. You understand? We cannot be in the society and we are not in the society. That is how it is at the moment, and it is sad. The reason nobody can tell, Farage want to send some of us home. They labor handicap at the moment. Kemi, our sister, is in between. She's facing today. They were saying that if she doesn't perform well today, she's not going to be out. You understand? So I think she must have done something to save her day.
Yeah.
Her burial has been postponed. That's what we can say. Burial has been postponed, but we can see the burial coming. It's coming. It's coming. And maybe let me ask one thing before we leave this show. Should we support Kemi?
That's a good one. That's a good question. That's a good question for another day.
So that's the question for another day. She's not ready to answer that. And I agree with her. This woman is a politician. She might be the next Kemi. Anyway, Kemi, I hope that will be begging you. Take it easy on us. Well, Kemi, thank you very much for making us proud. That's something we have to talk about you, Kemi. Let's bring our face out. We want to see our beautiful face. Kemi, we're proud of you. Let me put it this way. That you are here, that you've been able to do this. For the first time, we see one of our own at the top of affairs. And let me say this again and again. Black people or Africans, we always want to go with the Labour Party. But it is actually the Conservative Party that has featured us most. You understand? I've never seen a black woman or a black person. Okay, now Lemmy is there in the Labour Party that's really done well. But to have this woman here, yet we say Conservative Party is not her. Tory is not us. Tory is not us. But then what is your own? Your sister is there. So maybe if we are more open and we are more receptive, there may be more doors, more things. Sometimes we need to educate ourselves. Was actually the two different between the Labour and the Conservative Party? I don't think I want to talk about reform because reform may be alien to us. You understand? But between these two parties, are we being fair to the Tories? Maybe we are not. I'm not going to talk politics today because I talk politics in the morning on African scene. I don't want to talk too much party today. This young woman can talk more about politics here. But hey, this is a new show. We're just launching it, and you're going to be seeing these two people talking about this, not every day, but from time to time. We'll bring you what is happening in the UK. One thing, Eki, this is important. Is it not true that we don't even have our people, we can't even own a shop on the streets of London?
I mean, it is owned by Asians. It is owned by agents, and British people don't even own a shop either. They don't own any shops either. Go to license. It is Asian people. You know,
And now they
must be something they are doing,
exactly.
or they know that we don't know.
Now you go on the street of Brooklyn, they are not competing with the Jewish people. You understand? They are not competing with the Jewish people.
The thing is that Asian, wherever they go, they want to dominate. Asians,
I'm
they
proud
want
of
to
them.
dominate. They want to take
I
over.
just wish
That is
their mind.
that
You
is
understand?
it. That is it.
I
They
just
want
wish their
to
mind.
dominate. They want to take over.
Well, listen, we're going to cut this off today. It's exactly 40 minutes into the show. We don't want to do more than this today. Thank you very much, Iki, for having this lovely evening.
Thank you for having me.
Let me send her home. But we're going to do this again and again. The show is called In the UK. Kemi, thank you very much for making us proud. We're still going to decide Kemi's fate as we move on. But perhaps this is a show where, for the first time, I would love to put some Black people together to discuss our fate, our destiny, if not for us alone, for the future of our children in the UK. And maybe find a way to create an opportunity for them. Let them know that, oh, the way the Asians have been able to create a future for the children, we should be creating for us. Do you know what I'm looking at here? Let me put it this way. How many of us even own a chemist? Go and count the number of Black people that owns a chemist. Who are we? A chemist. I don't want to be angry this evening. We can't even own as little as a chemist. We don't have a GP. We don't have a chemist. We don't have post office. We don't have shops. Shut up. In Africa, you shut up. Close your mouth. That's what we're going to do, all right?
Yes.
So that's why we end the show today. We'll be back again, maybe tomorrow, maybe next, because we're not preparing to make this show, make it more robust. So we'll have more guests who come in here and have a little chat with us. For now, we're going to say thank you very much for joining us. The show is called In the UK. We're looking at our lives here, what we do here, how it affects us. We don't want to see our children, because sometimes when they say young people, they're actually saying young Black people. How do we send our kids from the gangs? How do we save them? Because they need us. Because if they fail, a few years down the line will be old. They'll be the one to speak for us. So they cannot afford to fail. So we need to stop them. We need to protect them from failing. And the time to do so is now. Thank you very much. We'll do this again another time. Thank you. Iki.
Okay, for having me.
SR TV.